Plaintiff, Matthew Rees, is suing his ex-girlfriend for unpaid rent and cell phone bills. Matthew says when he had sex with his brother's ex-girlfriend on their first date, he did not expect to fall in love with her, but he claims the defendant led him to believe they would live the American dream together.
Cue the defendant.
Defendant Jessica Bernard says she thought it would be fun to have sex with Matthew and compare him to his brother, but she admits she fell in love with the plaintiff and planned to marry him. However, she does not believe she owes the plaintiff because they were in a relationship.
State your name, please.
Matthew Rees.
And your name?
Jessica Bernard.
All right, the plaintiff is suing his ex-girlfriend for unpaid rent and cell phone bills. Matthew, state your case.
All right, well, when we first met, she was dating my brother, and they had broken up, and about a month later, we met.
She was dating your brother?
She was dating my brother, yes. About a month later, after they had broken up, we were at a bar. We hung out, you know, had a good time. The next day, she sent me a message on MySpace saying, hey, I guess we're friends now. Can I get your number? I said, sure. You know, she's a beautiful girl. She's really nice, so I gave her my number. The next day, she called me, and she came over to my house. We had a really good time. We ended up sleeping together. And
Isn't there some kind of code that you don't sleep with your brother's ex? It's more you than her.
I don't believe so.
How did he feel about it?
He wasn't happy. He said, you know, she's not right for you. She's going to use you. It won't last more than a month. I figured he was just jealous I have what he doesn't have anymore. So, no, I'll learn for myself.
All right.
So anyway, so we started talking. You know, we really liked each other. I told her what I was looking for. I wanted to get married, have a big house, you know, the white picket fence and all that kind of stuff. She agreed. She said that's what she wanted. So, and she was in a bad living situation at that time, so I offered her to move in with me, you know, for $310 a month rent. And she agreed to that. And so she moved in, and she never paid the rent. I got her a cell phone the first month she moved in because she had a prepaid and it was expensive. So helped her out, you know, she had a bad car, break down all the time. I need, you know, so she can get a hold of me and all that so I can help her out. Her car would break down, I'd borrow her money. I wouldn't get it back.
Was she working, Matthew?
She was working part-time as an accountant.
As an accountant?
As an accountant.
You're an accountant, Jessica?
Yes, yes.
Why do you need him for money if you're an accountant?
I only work part-time because I have a medical condition that keeps me from being able to work full-time.
Yeah.
So he did not help me fix any of my vehicle anytime that it broke down.
That's not true. I borrowed her the money all the time. Every time anything went wrong with her car, I borrowed her the money.
All right.
She would say, I need money for this, I need money for that, so I'd borrow the money, you know. I loved the girl, so I tried to help her out, but she just used me.
Do you love him?
You know, I just want to say that initially I was dating his brother. We split up. I thought that, you know, it'd be fun to hang out with him and see maybe who's better in bed. And
Well, she found out.
Now, I'm not going there.
I'm the younger brother.
You're the younger brother.
My brother's 30, I'm 27.
Okay, and he's younger than you, right?
She's
yeah.
7 years older than I am, Your Honor.
7. Okay, all right.
Oh my gosh. Well, anyway, the reason that I moved in is because he didn't like the living situation that I was in.
She was in a verbally abusive place. Guy would yell at her, she'd call me up crying, he's yelling at me, telling me I'm a piece of crap.
You were in a bad situation?
I was, but it was still a situation that I was, you know, I had other options of places I could go to live, but he didn't like those options either.
Well, he's not in charge of your life, you are.
No, but, you know, we were seeing each other, and at the time I did love him, and I did want to make him happy, so instead of paying money to live somewhere else, I could...
So you move in. What's the agreement?
The agreement was that I would pay the $310, and then he got me a cell phone because I had a prepaid phone that was really expensive. So he put me on his plan.
So everything he said so far is true?
So far, yeah, for the most part, but I did contribute financially.
Did you pay the $310 and the $65 a month?
Never.
I never gave him money like of a lump sum and said, this is for this. I'd give him a little bit here, a little bit there. Anytime I bought groceries or took us out for any kind of entertainment purposes.
Yeah, but you were eating too. I mean, what do you...
Not really. I don't eat that much, no.
She would have her kids over and like, I don't know. Kids? Her kids. She's got a son and a daughter. And
really?
she, you know, they'd come and stay at my house with me, and I swear they had no food in the other house because they would eat the whole time they were there.
Well,
I didn't have a problem with that
because
she contributed with the groceries, so I didn't care that
How
they
old
were...
are the kids, Jessica?
13 and 10.
13 and 10. All right, your husband has custody, your ex?
No, my ex-husband, we have shared custody.
You have shared custody?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, we've got a good relationship. Is there anything going on?
Yeah, it was great.
So what happened? He said he loves you. You love him?
Well, the fact is that my car kept breaking down. I'd have financial crisis after financial crisis.
And he said he helped you. You said he didn't.
He didn't help me.
I did.
Okay.
How many times have you asked me, I need some money? And yeah, I'd be
And
like,
I always paid it
What
back.
do you do, Matthew?
I am a tech support for cash registers.
I always paid him back if he borrowed me money, and then I did give him extra money on top of that. But anytime I contributed to the groceries or household things or the entertainment, because we were supposed to be together. I mean, we had even talked about getting married.
Yeah, but you told me yourself that you would agree to 310 and 65.
I was not keeping track of how much I was giving him. It seemed to me like I was giving him even more than that.
How long did you guys live together?
About 6 months.
Okay, and how did it come to an end?
It got to the point where my car broke down one last time, and he would not help me, and I just was like, how can you call yourself my man and not be there to help me?
How can you call yourself my woman and take advantage of me?
I wouldn't send
You
her
know
out.
what that suggests to me? And, you know, finally my car broke down and he wouldn't help me. It suggests to me that maybe he did help you before the last breakdown.
He did with rides, like he'd come and get me off the side of the road.
Get a bicycle. What do you need a car for?
I worked like 20 miles away, so...
Take a bus. Where do you live?
Well, I did look into that, and it's like an hour and a half because there's no direct line.
And she can't get up early enough
You're
to
an
make a bus
accountant.
anyway.
You're a professional woman. You're an accountant. That's serious stuff.
Yes, and I do a good job of managing other people's money.
And you don't
spending
keep
it.
track of how much money you credit against the $375 a month. There's no question about the 65 and the 310. You've already admitted to that. Have you given him, how much do you think you've given him?
I don't know because I never kept track. I didn't think I needed to.
You
was
do
my
numbers for a
boyfriend.
living. If he's your boyfriend, he's not your boyfriend anymore, and you know better than anyone because you have 2 kids with another guy that you're finished with. Was there anyone else in the family?
Just Dad, but I wouldn't go there.
Dad.
No, I wouldn't go there.
Okay. Do you usually date younger guys, by the way?
No, I don't have a type, so.
Because his brother is younger than you, too.
Not by as much, though, just a couple years.
Why does he still love you?
I don't know.
No, you're a lucky lady. You're a very lucky lady. But you don't take advantage of all the attributes that you have.
I understand, but I have made bad decisions in the past that have come back and are continuing to haunt me now, which is why I have a hard time financially. It doesn't help that I can only work part-time and I have 2 kids. So, I mean, my finances, it's not like I have this abundance of money.
Where are you living now, Jessica?
I am actually staying with my ex-husband because of the kids.
Are you romantically involved with him?
No. We just co-parent in the same household.
Do you have hopes of getting back together with her?
I still love her and I'll always love her, but I don't need an anchor in my life. I'm trying to move forward and plan for the future. She just wants to live for the day. She's got money, she needs to spend it.
We could not be.
Well, you got together for 6 months anyway. And you knew what you were getting into. You knew the gene pool.
Well, he's not like his brother at all.
All right, the issue is whether or not the defendant's liable to the plaintiff for breach of contract. He says he paid $310 a month for rent and $65 a month for the phone bill. She agrees, but listen, you owe him the money. There's no question about it. I mean, you say that you gave him money to contribute to the food and everything else, and I believe him when he says your kids came over and they ate through the house, because I have 2 kids. They eat everything in sight. All right, what you need to do is protect yourself. You need to protect yourself from the guy that he says was abusive to you before you moved in with him. You need to protect yourself financially. I have high hopes for you. I think that you can do very well in your life. I really do. I think that you can start keeping track of your life and your money, but in the meantime, you got to pay this guy $2,250 for unpaid rent and cell phone bills. Find somebody your own age and move forward. You too.
We had sex twice last night.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd still like to be her friend and like to help her, but I'm done being taken advantage of. So if she can straighten up her life and, you know, I can be there for her. I still love her. I'll always love her. You love somebody, you're going to love them forever, but we could be friends. But that's probably about it.
It makes me angry that he thinks that I took advantage of him and that was my intention all along. And so I'm rather bitter and angry at this point. I don't see a friendship at all.